everybody, and welcome back to Blackphoenix Entertainment. This is a super exciting video. We are testing the difference between the stock Can Am Ryker clutch and the Stage 2 Wild clutch kit from Treal Performance. I got my buddy Toasty here, just hanging out. And so, right now, I haven't done anything. Stock clutch. I got my CVT intake ready to go. So we're just gonna do some comparisons, how it rides, RPM range, power, stuff like that. Fairly simple stuff for all for science, just for comparisons, because I know people are gonna have questions. So I'm gonna do my absolute best to answer those questions for you guys. First and foremost, as far as engagement point, the stock clutch engages around 1800 RPMs. I don't expect that to change with the Treal Performance clutch. I believe the engagement point is going to be the same. So what I'm going to do is just kind of look at the RPMs, different ranges, maybe a 0 to 60, 0 to a, max, do some highway runs, just to kind of see where we're at in stock form, and then compare that for when we get the clutch kit installed. And for all comparisons, I'm going to be in sport mode as soon as this thing warms up. That way, I know I'm in the same mode, in the best mode for my tune from Bill at BLRtuning, for throttle response and stuff like that. So that way, we get as close as we possibly can to same type of settings. Weather is going to be what it is. I can't control that. I don't have a controlled environment. But yeah, so we're going to do what we can do. All right, so here we are. You start going. Just rolling on 1800, starts to move. Just nice and easy. Around 30 miles an hour. Looks like we're about, call it 34, 3500 RPMs. Roll on a little bit. See, it goes up a little bit. 35, you get about 37, 30, we're on that mid 3000 RPM range. Alright, and just for testing, 40 miles an hour is 4,000 RPMs. Again, I don't know if any of this is actually going to change, but we're doing this for science. Just lay it out, because again, there are going to be questions. I have questions like, how is this really going to react? All I know is that when this clutch kit is installed, it's going to put more power through the drivetrain to the wheels, because it's shifting the RPM range. And we'll talk about that a little bit more once we get the clutch kit installed and do that testing. And as far as like the stock clutch and just the way it works, it's even with the tune and the throttle response, it's very, I want to use the word linear, and it really doesn't pick up power until about 5,000 RPMs, and then it starts going. And even then, it's a very linear curve going up, and that's pretty standard for stock stuff. But I really think there's room for improvement in a Ryker, and because it's a CVT, I think it suffers a little bit because of that, if you want a little bit more performance out of it. So we're going to get to a spot where I can do the 0 to 60, I can do the run on merging onto the highway, check out the highway and stuff like that, and then we'll come back and we'll do those tests with the Stage 2 clutch. So with the power invested in me of YouTube, I will see you at the spot. We are on the highway, 65 miles an hour, look at 55, 5600, so not too bad. Now a run from 65 would take us to what? Now, you're already over the power limit here. Like I said, 5,000 RPMs is where you're going to get the power. Alright, so here we are, done and done. I got the Treal Performance Stage 2 clutch installed. Let's go do some comparisons. Again, I'm going to do this in sport mode, everything relatively the same, I guess. Like I said, I can't control the weather, but we're going to do kind of the same little tests and talk about the clutch. So one thing I noticed right away is that really big clunk is kind of gone. Now, I don't know if it's just because I'm kind of babying it a little bit, just getting used to it, but from what I've seen from a stop and like just backing up and all that stuff already so far, that huge clunk is not there. It's a little bit, you still feel it because that's just the system. It just engages the way that it engages. But yeah, it's not like a huge BOOM. It's just like a boop, if that makes any sort of sense. But yeah, this thing is night and day. What a difference. It's just smoother, and it just feels like it has power. Like, sure, the power to weight ratio and stuff on the Rykers it is what it is, and the fun machine stock and then tuned, but you change out this clutch, it's just like instant power on demand. As soon as you twist the throttle, it's there, and it just wants to go. It just wants to pull no matter what RPM you're at, no matter how fast you're going, it just wants to go. Alright, so we're gonna do the 30-mile-an-hour test. 30 miles an hour, look about 3,900 RPMs. Let's bring it up to 40, see where we're at. So 40, you're looking about 4,300. So there, it does look like the RPMs are up higher a little bit, and I noticed that because of the sound, because my exhaust is very loud, and I'm like, it seems louder, and I look down and I'm going 25 miles an hour. Then I look at the RPMs, I'm like, this makes sense. So yeah, and it all makes sense. Let's see if this cop stops, because obviously you're upgrading the clutch, you're changing the RPM range and all of that, so that was somewhat expected, you know, that range and all that stuff was gonna change a little bit. Now we're at 50, about 4,800, 46. You know, so it varies a little bit. It goes up and down depending on how, you know, how much on the throttle you are. But yeah, so something else that I wanted to bring up that I asked Bill from BLRtuning about, and I've had cars, I've upgraded clutches in cars, I've had a 6-putt clutch, stuff like that, staged clutches. You get a little bit of chatter with cars. I started noticing that with the Ryker. I'm like, it's noticeably vibrating more, and I hear a little bit of a chatter. So I shot Bill a message. I'm like, hey Bill, this is what's going on. Is this normal for CVTs? He says it's completely normal. So that's something that you're also going to have to understand, that when you start upgrading stuff like that, there's going to be, I guess you could call it side effects, I guess, but just things that happen. You know, like it's going to be a little bit more vibration, and you're going to hear a little bit of chatter, but completely normal. Man, I cannot understate how smooth this is. It's just like the smoothness, and the power band is great. And this is the stage 2. And the next step up from that is the stage 3, which is basically on and off from what I've heard. Like if you're going like slow, like back roads like this, it's like up and over 5,000 RPMs. And as soon as you pin it to full throttle, it just shoots up to like 8,000. Great for racing, probably not that great for the road, although I have heard people getting the race clutch and just riding their Rykers like they do all day. That sounds interesting, but I don't know if I could do it. I would definitely have to switch out the exhaust if that was going to be my daily, but also riding the stage 2 clutch for the short amount of time that I am, this is enough for now. This is enough to get used to. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, we're going to hit, try to find some little stretches of highway, do a little bit of testing there, then go back to my testing ground in Mexico, do those same tests, 0 to 60 and stuff like that, see what we can get for traction, and then we'll do some final thoughts on the Treal Performance Stage 2 Wild Clutch. on the highway, 65 miles an hour, about 5,700 RPMs. So there, so yeah, this is super fun. So I'm going to do a little bit of highway, and then we'll pull over and we'll talk about the final thoughts on this Stage 2 clutch from Treal Performance. Alright, so here we are, flock, done with our test riding. Dude, this is so much fun. Like, I can't overstate or understate how much fun this Ryker is now with this Stage 2 clutch. And obviously from what you've seen, very little traction now. You just give it a little bit of throttle, especially in sport mode, and especially if you're tuned with the throttle response, you're going to light up that rear tire. There was a couple times where I didn't even try. I'm just like, I just want to kind of briskly, you know, get out of from the stop sign or whatever, and the tire just lit up. So, God, definitely worth the money. Now, if you're so watching this video and you're like, oh, maybe Stage 2 was a little bit too much, look at the Stage 1, because it will still help with the performance and all of that, but it's not going to be as wild, which is why they call Stage 1 mild and Stage 2 wild, and the Stage 3 obviously is the race clutch. So with all that being said, big thumbs up to BLRtuning and Treal Performance for not only having these products and tunes and stuff like that, but for helping me out with any of the questions and all that stuff that I had. So super awesome. It gets definitely positive feedback from me. So go down there, check out my description. I'm going to put a link to the clutch kit from Treal Performance, and I got links from BLRtuning and all that stuff. And I got links down there for Blackphoenix merchandise. All the money, all the hats, all the merch and stuff that I sell goes to Moby Kit Rescue to save the kittens. And I got to deal with Ironside Customs, where she makes, watch this, check this out. Check this out. Custom badges and 3D printing stuff for whatever bike you have, whether you have Ryker, Spyder, whatever. Message her, she'll be able to make something for you. So, geez, with all that being said, thanks for rocking with the flock. I'll see you guys on the next one.